Hey, this is Ray's Radio, and today I'm going to tell you why you need to open the hood even if your body is a fickle mistress. I'm going to parallel a story about our bodies as vehicles. In my life, I've always taken 0% interest in the inner workings of vehicles. I'm not afraid to admit I was not familiar with the engine, its parts, its inner workings and capabilities, etc. All I really knew was where to put a few things: gas, oil, and windshield washing fluid. Then in March of 2020, I bought myself an old faithful 85 Chevy van. I loved my van, and I decided that this was a great time to learn more about vehicles and how they worked and what the lingo was all about, since there was going to be many times where I would need to know more than the average bear. Sometimes I was traveling and not around my favorite trusted local mechanics. But I also knew I wasn't quite able to go back to school and become a mechanic. Being a busy entrepreneur, I didn't have time to invest in reading a Vans for Dummies books or even to take an auto mechanics basics online program. So I did it the easiest way I could. I opened up the hood. I just sat with it, and I stared. And I got really familiar with my lack of knowledge and discomfort. I found a mechanic who was willing to not only do repairs on me for such an old beast, but to teach me some of the lingo along the way. Sometimes the words coming out of his mouth did not translate in my brain, so I simply asked him to simplify it for me so I would know what I need to do. There was a lot to know and learn, but I continued to open the hood over and over and over. It wasn't a one-time thing, it's a process. It's a lot of new information, and I had to be patient with myself and my brain as it learns to retain these newly discovered lessons. I realized that before I had my old van, I had simply blocked myself from learning about what's under the hood. I could paint it any old way I wanted. I'm a girl, I just have no interest, or I don't have room in my brain for all that. But the real truth was, I didn't want to learn. And I had blocked myself from the responsibility of learning about my own vehicle. Suddenly, I shifted that. So here's the metaphor. Sometimes that happens with our bodies too. We can go for years, or even decades, blocking learning about things within our very own body. Foods that don't work for us, or listening to our body's messages. Then, something happens that forces us to look under the hood. Even when we don't want to, feel we don't have time, or are uncomfortable with it. And vehicles, especially vintage vans, are a fickle mistress. Just like our bodies, it's a puzzle with many moving parts. But no matter how cranky your body is, it is communicating to you. I'm not trying to be a mechanic and stressing out that I don't know enough about vehicles. I'm starting to learn, and I'm letting the mastery of those mechanics just slowly drip its way into me through osmosis, just through opening that hood repeatedly. And just like nutrition, the more I know what I don't know. But I'm doing it, one step at a time. And as with all things in truth, there are variables. For instance, you may be reading this post and think, not only did I open the hood, I'm obsessed with opening the hood. We can take all good things too far, too. So just remember, you don't have to invest all your time and energy into nutrition knowledge. That can become an obsession and not healthy either. But exploring nutrition, what it can do for you, and the movement around local food is vital in our world right now. Discovering your triggers for cravings, getting out of diet culture, eating cleaner, and healing your spirit so you feel better and more whole is really powerful work. You don't have to change your life to go to school to become a nutritionist or mechanic to know what you need. You can simply explore, look under the rug, take in some things through osmosis, do some reading, sit on it, sit with it. No pressure. Just look, just get under the hood, take a breather, and sit with all the parts that you haven't looked at or given much attention to. And if you break down and you are forced to look under the hood, know there is support around you to get to where you need to go. I can support your wellness journey as well. So go on, open the hood. Just like a very patient mechanic, I'm here to support you. If you're seeking further help with your wellness right now, this is exactly what I love helping women with. You can shoot me an email, rainalutz@live.ca, or you can join my Facebook community, Food and Healing with Raina Lutz. Thank you so much for listening.